Hello, Oakdale Dads. It's Dr. Stanton with our semi-regular video for dads. And as we record this, we are about to leave for Thanksgiving break and wanted to hopefully get a little bit ahead of the rush of the Christmas season that is soon to be upon us. I made a comment recently in chapel that anyone who had Christmas decorations up before Thanksgiving was wrong. Was completely wrong, and encouraged the kids to make sure they went home and took them down or muted the Christmas music, because we needed to very much take time next week to focus on Thanksgiving rather than to rush headlong into Christmas as soon as the fall was almost over. And it was a little bit of a joke with the kids, but I found out several of them took me exceptionally seriously, and I thought about it, and I'm glad in some aspect that they did, because it feeds into what I want to share today to dads, and that is to talk about a concept that many Christian churches will embrace, which is the concept of a season of Advent. And wherever your tradition might be, I simply want to explain that Advent, by its root, simply means a coming, and it's a time of preparation. It's a time of waiting on the Lord's coming. And it really is twofold. And my encouragement to dads is we should be the ones that are leading this time. This is one of those moments, as several of us have talked at different times out in the parking lot, at different events. This is our responsibility as dads to make sure we're the spiritual leaders of our families. And Advent is a wonderful time to take the initiative and to lead your family. Now, a lot of dads might think, well, it has to be some perfect thing that happens. I want to discourage you from thinking it has to be perfect. It simply just has to be genuine and from the heart. And you should be able to lean on, whether it's other Oak Dads, whether it's pastors, whether it's a spiritual mentor, someone, for how to start this process if you haven't started it already. And Advent, again, simply means coming, and there's inherent in that a waiting period. So Advent is typically the 4 Sundays before Christmas, before December 25th, and we are anticipating not only that glorious event of the birth of Jesus that was foretold in the prophecies of the Old Testament, but as Christians, we're also waiting for the second coming of Jesus, and Advent does celebrate that. So whether you do wreaths or you do some type of tree marked with candles or some other way to do so, it's taking some deliberate steps each week, each day, to focus your family on the things that are important. And so there are a couple things that you should be doing. You should be preparing your own heart, preparing the hearts of your children, your wife, for the first as well as the second coming of Jesus. And a lot of people have recently shared, and it's a beautiful thing if you really think about it, this should also remind us of the waiting that God's chosen people were doing. Not only waiting out many times throughout history, waiting for a deliverer to come and rescue them out of slavery in Egypt, waiting for the return after 70 years of captivity in Babylon, waiting for the promised Messiah that we know is fulfilled in Jesus. But we are to reflect that waiting as we wait for Jesus' return. And there are some interesting traditions that you could do, and if you have some of your own, I encourage you to share those with others, but there are the easy ones. There's an Advent calendar. You can get them that are not focused on Santa or the 1950s at Hobby Lobby or probably CVS or Walgreens or something like that, but they're focused on the wait, the anticipation of Jesus' birth. There's also a new one that somebody recently made me aware of called a Jesse tree. And a Jesse tree is typically wooden. They have felt ones, of course, that's reflective of Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1, that says, "A shoot shall come out from the stump of Jesse, and a new branch shall grow out of his roots." And every day for 25 days, you add a new ornament to this Jesse tree. And so I have a couple of them here on my screen in front of me. From the stump with the branch that you put on for the beginning of the Jesse tree, the creation of humans, the fall, Noah's Ark, the promised land, the commandments, Rahab, Ruth, and Boaz, David as the shepherd king up to the temple and the prophecies, Elizabeth and Zechariah, John the Baptist, the selection of Mary, the angel appearing to Joseph, and then ultimately the birth of Jesus. Whatever way you would choose to be reading even from the Old Testament, from some of the prophecies of Messiah, are so important for you to take this great opportunity to be waiting for the coming of our Savior and anticipating his return and leading your family that way. So as we enter this Thanksgiving week, that's my encouragement to all of us as dads, as husbands, to pour into becoming and maintaining your role as a spiritual leader, helping your children, your wife, yourself to see the importance of preparing our hearts, preparing our minds as we anticipate the coming of our Savior, and taking this next week in particular to be thankful for the blessings that we have. I want to just offer my own wish of a happy Thanksgiving, my personal thanks for the work that each of you as dads is doing, the work that you're pouring into your children, into your wives, and into this community to ensure that we are continuing our mission. I'm so very thankful for each of you and for the work that you do and continue to do. So I wish you an exceptionally happy Thanksgiving, and hopefully a restful time off with your kids, and look forward to waiting with you as we prepare our hearts through Advent. Thank you so much.